Hi, welcome to episode 4 of Penmanship, and in this episode, I'm gonna talk about this fountain pen journey. It's about a year since I started collecting fountain pens, so I wanted to go back and talk about a turning point in my collection. And it really started with the Pro Gear Slim. I knew I wanted the Pro Gear. I couldn't afford anything else but a Slim. It was on Amazon for a very good price. And so I bought this Pro Gear Slim. This is the fall one. And it was a really good price. Well, for me, at the time, it was really expensive. My really first expensive purchase, even though it was sub 100. When I got it, I was pretty disappointed with the size, the weight, and the nib was somewhat scratchy. So I didn't enjoy using it for a while. But I'm not gonna talk too much about it. It's a journey. This will come up in a later episode. I was disappointed with the Pro Gear Slim. And so I went about looking for a Pro Gear because I figured, hey, if the Pro Gear Slim was too small, maybe the Pro Gear is what I need. So I went to Amazon looking for a Pro Gear, and I found this one, this Imperial Black. And I think you're probably seen some videos on it already. But yeah, I saw it. I thought it was gorgeous. I couldn't afford it. Again, 2 months into my collecting of fountain pens, it just didn't make sense to, it didn't make sense to purchase such an expensive pen. At the time on Amazon, I think it went for $240. So that was really a lot. I was working in the $30 to $40 space. So $250 was insane. So I didn't get it. What I end up getting allowed me to be more vested in this hobby was these two items. Again, I was looking for a Pro Gear, and on Amazon, they were a little expensive for me at the time. Now that I know how much US retailers charge for one, Amazon's cheap. Still, if there's something you really want, go to a US retailer, support a local business. I do buy locally most of the time. I would say 90% of my purchases. There are some instances that I go elsewhere, but normally 90% of my purchases will be within the US. So eBay, I found this one, a basic Pro Gear black gold trim medium fine. Someone was selling, and at the time they were selling it for 180 on eBay used. I offer a really good price for it. I end up getting it for like 130, 133. And so I got it. It felt right. The weight of the pen when it posts is perfect for me. The length, the girth, even the go nib. The nib was perfect. Again, it was a medium fine, and it was amazing. That really started turning things because that was my over 100 next level pen, Sailor Pro Gear. I prefer the Pro Gear because of the finial. That's why I focus on this instead of focusing on the 1911. It's just the finial. I thought added an extra touch that the 1911 didn't have. So yeah, that was it. That was where things started to change. The reason why I am also talking about this ink, because I bought my Pro Gear used, it still had a little bit of ink. The guy didn't clean it out, which was to my benefit. And I rolled with it. There was very little ink left, but I rolled with it. It smelled nice. And so I asked the seller, what ink it was, and he said it was the Jacques Urban, and I apologize if I'm butchering it, Urban Blue Plenitude. Jacques Urban Plenitude. And I really wanted that ink. And I researched it, and I looked for it, and I could not, everywhere was sold out. I could not buy it. And the places that were sold out, it was $40. It was expensive. At the time, I was just living off cartridges and maybe samples from Goulet samples. So investing in an ink bottle was new to me, and especially one that's $40. But it smelled really nice. So I'm gonna open this package. This is not my first Jacques Urban. I have Emerald Edition 4 and I have Shogun. And I have another one which is not my favorite, so I'm not gonna name it. It smells so good. I think the smell, I've read that people don't like the scented inks, but man, it smells good. And the reason why I like the smell is the smell is very musky. So if you don't like that smell, I get it. My favorite cologne is Ralph Polo's Original, which is an extremely musky. I only put that cologne on in fall and winter because a muskier, a deeper fragrance is best for a colder weather. I apologize, my camera is on to my right, so things might be a little bit crooked. So right here, oh gosh, the color is so pretty. Yeah, this is, smells so good. So I'm gonna ink it up. I'm gonna ink it up in this program. Would I do a writing sample? My handwriting sucks, but I'll do one. Look at that color. I don't really do color swatches anymore. I don't even really do samples. I just commit to. There are better people out there that do a better job of swatching, so I don't do it. I reference them, and I decide, hey, it looks good. I'll buy a bottle. I don't even buy samples anymore. I was just going through my stuff, and there's a few sample vials I've received that I don't even remember. It's something that I don't care for anymore. Let's sync this up. So I like I like changing my ink. So even when I'm using a cartridge converter, I don't fill it all the way up there. This is a good month for me. Again, I have other pens that's inked up, so why would I need to ink more? I ink up about, I think I have like 16 pens inked up right now. Some are just for everyday carry, so they get beat up. Some for special projects. My ProGear Slim that I show is for a special project. My other ProGear, the Imperial Black, is inked up because I just got this last week. Wait, I just got this week. And I inked it up with an ink I received a couple of weeks ago from Atlas Stationers. It was on sale. It was the Diplomat Sepia, and it's a really good color. Okay, so I will indulge you with my terrible handwriting with my ink book. So I don't do ink swatches, but I do. I don't do ink swatches, but I do write down what ink I have in this notebook. This notebook is awesome. It comes from Daiso. It's like $2, give or take. It's a B5. It's what I'm using to journal, and I think it's gonna take me by 8. No, I think it's gonna take me somewhere between 9 to 11 of the smaller booklet for 1 year. It's really fountain pen friendly. Again, I got it from Daiso. I got this from Daiso. Sorry if you guys don't have a Daiso nearby. I would move to a state that does, and then you won't be able to afford a home, because wherever that has a Daiso is probably expensive living. So I always date it. Today's date is the 27th. Oh, I guess you guys need to be able to see this. Oh gosh, I love it. April 27. There. Then I put the pen, which is a Sailor Pro Gear. And since I have 2 Pro Gears now, I have to name it something. So I'll just call it's a black with gold trim. I'm just gonna name it a Classic. Oh shoot. And the nib size. Guys, this smells so good. So good. It took me a year to get this ink. It was sold out for so long. Actually, I don't know how long it was sold out for, but it was sold out for months, and I forgot about it. And then something popped up, and I'm like, I should look for it again. And I found it. I always look for a US retailer, like I said. I look at Atlas first. Actually, I just look up at Atlas. If they don't carry it, then I kind of just go to other retailers, see how much their shipping is, and then sometimes Amazon have it. In this case, Amazon did have this ink. Anyway, back to writing this. Medium fine, Jacques Raban. Blue. And then this is the most unscientific test you're gonna see from me at all, and that is how wet is this ink. This is a medium fine, and so I do across 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. Holy cow! That dried really fast, 5 seconds. I'm gonna put asterisk on it. This never happened before. I'm going to do this again. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. Holy cow. I don't remember it drying so fast. Actually, I don't remember any ink drying so fast. So, like I mentioned, my Pro Gear Imperial Black, I have the Diplomat Sepia Black, and it took about 10 seconds to dry. 10 counts. 10, 1 count, 1000. The fact that this doesn't just dried up so quickly without even that slightest smear. It's freaking amazing. Is this ink worth 1 year waiting? I mean, you don't have a choice. But it really is. Again, it's a huge turning point because of a commitment of spending money on a Pro Gear, which was at the time my Grail pen, and then willing to spend $40, biting that bullet to get an ink. Freaking awesome. I'm just gonna do a quick one. What? It wasn't even a second. Let me try one line. What? It doesn't smear. Holy cow. This thing is freaking awesome. I'm just stunned. This may be the perfect ink. I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna call it right now. This is the perfect ink. You don't need anything else. It smells great. It dries it dries really quickly. Speechless. And the color. I know you guys haven't really seen the color. You guys, I had to manual focus this one. Let's see if I can manual. There. Alright. The manual focus my hand. Or I can just put autofocus. I'll put on autofocus. Alright, let's see. Autofocus. Yeah. But that's my journey. I do have to talk about Imperial Black again. The Imperial Black. After getting this pen, I'm loving it. I do love this pen. I'll lay here. I will lay my journey. I call this my journey. This Imperial Black. I still wanted this pen, and I keep looking at it, and eventually, so how much did it actually cost when I first looked? I think it was like $240 when I first saw it. When I first saw this pen, it was like $240 on Amazon, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna spend $240 on a pen. To me nowadays, let's say $240 is where I would want to spend a pen. Yeah, $240 was a lot, and I kept looking at it, and it was a lot because I have this pen, this Pro Gear Classic, right? This Pro Gear Classic, and I was like, I don't need another Pro Gear. But I kept looking at it, and then I started seeing people on YouTube having it, and I got a FOMO. It wasn't a FOMO. I panicked. I wanted this pen, and people were buying it, and I was concerned that I was going to miss out, that I'm going to regret it. And it's not FOMO. It's like I knew I was going to like this pen. I just had this Pro Gear, and I didn't want to spend the money at the time because I wasn't using this Pro Gear much. It was a Grail pen. I have a Pelikan M800. I have a Visconti. I have other gold nibs, but I use those frequently. I never use this one frequently because it was my Grail pen, and I put it in such a high pedestal that I didn't want to use it much. And so, because I didn't use it much, I was like, I don't need this black one. But I saw people buying it, and then I saw seeing the price drop. It dropped from $240 to $220 to $200. I was like, At 200, I almost pulled the trigger. It was like Fountain Pen Day, Christmas, the holidays basically, and I was like, oh, that's almost doable. I can do this, but I held back, and then it dropped to 165, 68, and I still held back until I started seeing YouTube channels featuring this pen. And I was like, then I got my tax return. I'm like, forget it. I got my tax return. People are buying this, and once it gets super popular out there, it's gonna be gone. And the mediums I think are gone, are starting to go away. This is a fine nib, fine Japanese nibs. I guess in the U.S. isn't as popular. The medium fines are, I guess, because there was I guess plenty of the fine left. Anyway, I bought it. The reseller got it to me within 2 days. Anyway, I'm ranting. I apologize. I probably started mumbling. I'm ending it. Thank you for watching. This is my turning point. I appreciate you staying and watching to the end. Alright, bye.